Yeah. I'll let you go, but it'll cost you.
All right.
Look what you're...
go. We've got... Jesus, what have you been up to?
I'd like...
So,
I want to...
you can't become a master overnight.
Well, are you happy here?
It's not worth a damn. If I had any choice, you wouldn't see my heels for dust.
What's happened? Did you two get yourselves into trouble?
A fine friend you are, assuming it's our own bloody fault.
Oh, come on. You know what you two are like. I had to ask.
Well, perhaps with that monk. But now, the foreman's got it in for us. If he could, he'd skin us alive.
Always forcing you to work, is he?
If only. That wouldn't be so awful. But nothing we do is good enough for him. There's always some reason for him to yell at us.
I can imagine.
You know what it's like. We do too little, and it takes us too long, and what we eat's worth more than the work we've done, and it's no fun listening to that sort of shit day after day.
And you definitely don't... You don't ever provoke him?
I've already told you once, he's an arsehole. I'd say there's nothing we can do about it. If he wants to yell at us, he'll yell at us.
Have you tried talking with him?
What do you think? But that just sets him off. He starts saying we're practically bandits, and what he's going to do about it. That gets Fritz going, and he starts yelling too, and...
And the miller won't stick up for you? I would have thought all the yelling would drive him mad.
Not really. He trusts that loudmouth bastard more than us. He's got us down for a pair of parasites.
I see.
What's so stupid is the mill really needs us. They haven't had any hands here for quite a while, and the mill needs a lot of fixing. But with them around, we can't even get to work.
I'd never have guessed he's like that.
Well, get a job here as a hand, and you'll soon see.
And what does he do during the day? Does he work with you?
Good one. He keeps his eye on everything, but his hand only touches the saw when the miller shows up, which isn't that surprising.
Why?
The last time he did anything, he almost took his thumb off with a chisel. I wouldn't put an axe in those paws of his either.
So he's clumsy and arrogant. That's what you said about your last master, that Nimoy.
Aye, but at least you could sneak away from old Nimoy for a bit. No chance of that around here.
And what do you want to do about it? Just run away?
Actually, I'd like to stay here, at least for a bit. I never would have thought I'd like working in a mill, but not with him around. It's unbearable, and there's no one I can complain to. But you could.
Me? Do you think they'll listen to me?
They did once already, didn't they? They hired us because of you. You could have another word with them.
Back then, making promises was enough. Now, it will be worse.
You can forget about the miller. It's Thomas you need to convince. The miller takes his opinion seriously. So, will you do it for us? Again?
Fine. I'll try and talk to him.
I'm glad. But try not to get on his wrong side. You won't get anywhere with him then.
I'll keep that in mind.
See you later.
Hey, how'd you...
I want to get...
Sit.
I'd like to...
First you have to...
Well, Matthew told me your foreman's a fool, and you're not exactly filled with Christian love for him.
You better believe it. I'd like to pay him back for everything and drown him in the river.
Drown him? What's he done to you?
It was the first or the second day here. We had a disagreement and I told him off. And then, all of a sudden, we're fighting and that fucker just throws me in the river. I nearly drowned.
Well, how did you get out? I thought you couldn't swim.
I can't. They pulled me out. I was up to my waist in water.
I see. Well, I'd be pretty fucking angry too. So you want to pay him back?
Exactly. I don't give a shit about anything around here, but that bastard's in need of a good trouncing.
I spoke with him briefly and he doesn't seem so horrible.
Then you ought to try working with him. He's a sneaky bastard and arrogant. You should see how he puffs himself up when he's off to play dice with Lawrence.
Who's Lawrence? Another mill hand?
Aye, but at the neighbouring mill. They call him the Wren. Damned if I know why. Thomas goes there to play dice with him.
What about the others at the mill? Are they awful as well?
The miller's an old fool. He believes every word that comes out of Thomas's mouth. It's hopeless. And then there's the miller's daughter. She's a pretty lass, and kind with it. And what can she do? Nothing. Not that it stops Matthew going to see her. But Thomas is the root of the problem.
Do you think he's jealous? Is she a sweetheart?
He might make puppy dog eyes at her, but most of the time he just struts about like a peacock. I really don't think she's the problem.
And what do you want to do about it? Do you think you can come to an agreement?
No fucking chance. Matthew hopes so because he likes it here. It's true the work's better than the mines, but the pay's worse.
So how do you plan on dealing with it? Leaving?
Perhaps. But first, I want to give Thomas a proper trouncing. I mean a real thrashing.
And you think that will help?
Maybe. Maybe it'll knock some sense into that fat head of his. Or he'll be too frightened to mess with me.
That might help.
So why don't you arrange a fight with him? If we win, he'll leave us alone. Oh, we could...
What?
We could lure him off someplace far away and then wait for him. Maybe to play dice with Lawrence. He would have to go through the dark woods.
I'll think about it.
God be with you.
God be with you.
So what do you think about the workers I brought you?
If I hadn't put in a good word for them, the miller would have thrown them out by now.
I heard them say something else.
So they're complaining, are they? I provide for them, and all they do is slack off.
Isn't it the miller who provides for them?
He can't manage the work anymore. If it weren't for me, there'd be nothing left standing around here.
But you need the help anyway. And they're pretty handy.
Maybe, but they're in no danger of overworking themselves. They act like they're too good for the mill, and I saw them eyeing up Jane.
Nothing strange about that. She's a pretty girl, and she's of an age to marry.
It's not marriage they've got on their minds. They'd have their way with her, then before her belly started to grow, they'd have run for the hills.
Look, we can reach an agreement. You need the mill fixed, they need the money. If they have peace to do their work, they'll be able to finish it faster.
But
And then they'll take their groschen and leave. The mines will open again, and the faster they get their money, the quicker they'll be gone.
do you really think I can trust them to do it? Will they do their work and leave? And leave Jane alone in the meantime?
Of course. They're not interested in the mill. They just need the coin to pay their debts. Once they've got enough, they'll have no reason to stay here.
I never thought we could sort it out this way.
I've known them for a long time, and you can rely on them when it comes to this. Everybody will be better off.
All right. If they keep their part of the bargain, I'll even give them a few extra groschen. But woe betide them if they don't. You can tell them that. God be with you.
Jesus, what are you...
It took some doing, but I made a deal with him.
I'm glad to hear it. So we can stay here? He'll leave us be?
He'll leave you alone, but there are conditions. Once you finish your job, you'll vanish from here. But you'll get an extra groschen or two for your troubles.
And that's it? I thought... Never mind.
Oh, and you're to stop dallying with the miller's daughter. Keep on mucking about with her and you'll muck things up for yourselves.
The fucking bastard. He can go fuck himself. He'd better give us enough groschen to make it worth it. But I suppose I should thank you. You may have bought us some peace and quiet, and that's better than nothing. Here's something for your help. See you later.
Are you happy?
Well,
Oh,
you.
and
What do
what? Back. I'll keep.
Goodbye.
Hey,
Matthew. Drop. I did. What a.
goodbye.
Good health to you.
Are you happy with your new workers?
They're good carpenters, but someone constantly has to stand behind their backs and keep an eye on them.
Really?
Yes, yes. When I'm there with them, everything goes smoothly. But the moment I leave, I hear Thomas yelling at them.
I've heard.
I don't know what I'd do without Thomas. He keeps an eye on everything for me now. The mill wouldn't function without him.
Yeah, but Thomas has problems with carpentry.
You're right. You should hear him cursing when he has to turn his hand to it. He knows he'll never be a real miller.
Or just because of that?
No. He's not too skilled at handling the water wheel and the mill run either. He can wield a shovel well enough, but otherwise I have to keep telling him how to do things.
So he's not been foreman too long?
No. My son used to run the mill, but then his wagon overturned with him inside it. It'll be a year ago now, come spring.
I'm sorry.
Me too, boy. And after Martin was gone, the other workers left and only Thomas stayed. I don't know what I'd do without him.
What happened that day? Wagons don't overturn themselves.
He was transporting new stone blocks for the mill and he had to take a detour. Since the wagon was too heavy for the ford, it was after a downpour. The load must have slipped and the whole wagon fell on him. I pray it was quick.
So he was alone, with no one to help him.
Of course not. Thomas was there too. He helped Martin to load the wagon in Sasser and both of them set off back.
Just the two of them. No one else was there.
No, they always did it that way. Martin didn't like dragging people where it wasn't necessary, when they could be doing work elsewhere. But if I had been there with them, maybe he'd still be alive. Thomas couldn't pull the wagon off him. He ran for help, but it was already too late.
I'm sorry. But I'm sure he's in God's kingdom now.
He was a good boy, a kind soul.
Have you been without carpenters for a while?
A long time. Since winter, it's been just me and Thomas.
Nobody stays around?
No. These days, it's hard to find a man you can rely on. Young lads today are bone idle. None of them wants to do an honest day's work.
And how many have actually worked here?
About half a dozen, maybe more. We always put up with them till the most urgent work was done, then sent them packing.
And what about Jane? Shouldn't she have a husband by now?
What are you trying to say?
A pretty girl like her is ripe for marriage.
With a large dowry because she comes from a mill? Well, she had herself a man once, but he ran away during the winter. He wasn't up to the work either.
And how long did he last?
You know, he was here for a while. But back then my son was a foreman and he was a kindly soul. Too kind. He never threw anyone out.
So everyone started leaving when Thomas took over.
Well, Thomas is a dog on slackers. And just as well. Maybe it's harsh, but that's what you need nowadays. If we don't mill, folk don't eat.
So the moment Thomas became mill foreman, everyone started running off. Not one man could stand it here, even if they had a chance to marry Jane. Don't you think Thomas might be doing it on purpose? Sounds to me like he's after the mill, or your daughter, or both.
That's not like him. He's a good man and straightforward. He knows I can always send for a new mill foreman.
And Jane...
Don't worry about her. She'll wed whoever I approve of, even Thomas if he asks for her hand. At least with him, I know he won't leave the mill.
Indeed, why would he, once he's got rid of everyone else?
That's enough. I don't know why you're trying to slander Thomas, but I don't mean to listen to it any longer. Good luck to you.
I heard what you asked my father. You can't expect help from him. He's none too sharp these days.
And can you help me?
No. Nobody listens to me. But I wanted to say that Thomas does do it on purpose. He did it the same way before.
Why?
Because he's afraid if someone comes who's more skilled, Father will notice and give his job to the newcomer.
And your father lets him? Can't he settle this?
He probably could, but he doesn't want to. My brother was the mill foreman before him, but last year a wagon overturned on him, broke his back. It broke my father too. And Thomas was here the longest. He was always close to my brother, so Father chose him as the mill foreman.
And Thomas doesn't listen to anyone? Can't you persuade him?
No. He keeps looking my way and tries to be nice, but he doesn't care what I've got to say. When I tell him something, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Well, this probably won't end well. Well, what happened to your brother?
And what does that have to do with this?
I don't know. You mentioned it, so I was just wondering.
There's not much to tell. A stone block that was loaded wrong, slippery ground after rain, and when the wagon overturned on him, there was no one around to help.
What do you mean, no one? Surely he wasn't alone.
No, he had Thomas with him. But Thomas couldn't lift the wagon off him, and by the time he found help it was too late. And as if that wasn't bad enough, someone robbed my brother while Thomas was looking for help.
Someone robbed him after he was dead?
I don't know. But they took a mottled scarf which I gave him as a keepsake. He laughed when I gave it to him. He said it would make him look like a fop, but he still wore it all the time. And someone must have thought it was worth stealing.
But who'd steal a scarf?
Why are you asking me? When they brought him back here, he didn't have it. That's all I know.
I'm sorry about what happened to him.
Me too. But it was his own fault. If he'd brought more people with him, he'd still be alive. He was too kind for his own good.
I understand.
I'm at your...
I heard you were with the miller's son when the wagon fell on him.
What of it?
I just heard some talk and I wanted to get the story straight from you.
Talk? From who?
I heard some gossip about it at the alehouse. What happened? Was it really lightning that scared the horses?
What? No, there wasn't any storm. It was just the road was muddy, and so we rode closer to the edge of it.
It's a real stroke of bad luck, isn't it?
Tell me about it. If I'd been behind the wagon, it would have fallen on me too.
Why did only 2 of you go?
He always did it that way. 2 people are enough for the trip, and if we needed an extra pair of hands, we could always find some local.
Except at the end. If there had been more of you, he might have survived.
Do you think I don't know that? I couldn't move the wagon on my own, so I went looking for help. We'd met a few travelers along the way, and I ran to find them, but it was too late. The weight of it crushed him while I was gone.
I'm sorry.
Me too. Me too. I didn't want to be the mill foreman, but the last thing he ever said to me, the very last thing he ever asked of me, was to take care of the mill.
And I heard someone robbed him.
Robbed? What kind of nonsense is that?
I heard he was missing something when they brought him back.
What? I don't remember anything.
He had a scarf with him.
Really? I don't know. Maybe he lost it on the way. Or it sank into the mud. Yes, that's probably it. It's still buried there somewhere.
Well, I hope he's resting in peace.
Amen. Good luck to you.
Go and bother someone younger.
Hey! Good luck then.
Jesus!
I spoke with the miller's daughter.
It's a shame her father won't listen to her. She knows all about Thomas, but
Her father doesn't believe her.
he reckons it's just a woman's fancy. He probably thinks she's smitten with one of us. Not that I'd object, but she's a clever one. She'd make a better miller than either of those two. God be with you.
Take care now.
Enough. I found this at your place. Now, will you admit you killed him?
Killed who?
This! And there's only one way you could have got hold of it. Did you take it while Martin was still breathing, or did you wait until it was all over?
That's ridiculous. I didn't kill him. Why would I do that?
So you'd be the one giving orders instead of taking them. You want the mill for yourself.
I never wanted this. It's not the life for me. But he told me to take care of the mill and his sister, and I promised I would.
Yeah, a nice story. And that scarf was supposed to seal the deal you two made, right? At least that's probably what you told yourself.
No. I took it to remind me of my promise. But that doesn't matter. What are you trying to prove?
Well, I could take the scarf and go and tell Jane you had it this whole time. Then I could hint you might have done it on purpose. Pretty soon we'd see how everyone starts looking at you.
Why would you do that, you bastard? Unless you want something.
I want you to get out of here and never come back. The mill will be better off without you.
You've lost your wits, haven't you? You think a piece of cloth and a few lies from some stranger is going to convince anyone here?
Like I said, Jane isn't too fond of you already. Imagine how she'll hate you after this.
That's not true.
That's what you think. But who knows what she'll do? Never talk to you again? Put something in your porridge? Or maybe she'll be so distraught she'll jump into the river. And what will happen to the miller then? You'll have lost everything that matters to you.
Very well. You win. Have it your way. I'll leave and never come back. I don't want to hurt anyone, but you'll end up in hell for this. Take care now.
Go and bother someone younger.
Jesus!
Problem solved. He won't bother you again.
Really? How'd you pull it off?
I found out he has a soft spot. And I gave it a good poke.
I'd love to know what you found out about him.
It doesn't matter. But it was enough for him to pack his things and disappear.
Jesus, it must have been something terrible. So he's really gone?
Yes. Now it's just you, so try not to misbehave.
You know us. We'd never do that. Thank you kindly, Henry. We owe you again. Here, it's not much, but it's all we have. Bye. Good day. Good luck then.
Hey! Good luck then.
what am I doing talking?
With salt, caraway seeds, garlic, and corn.
I've got the book.
Really? You're a fine fellow. Well, show me it then.
Here it is.
Wonderful. Come back in a little while. I need to read through it and find that spell. And here's a reward for your efforts.
Yeah! Yeah!
Good help.
I'd like to
Uh-huh.
get myself fixed up a bit. Have a bath and get my clothes washed.
That can be arranged.
Fine.
I'm sure you'll... God be with...
Yeah! Yeah!
So what a...
I've brought you something.
Oh, Hal. Is this for me? This must have cost you a fortune. But I like it very much, thank you. You really mustn't bring me any more gifts like that, or you'll spoil me.
Would you like to get up to some more mischief? It was fun the last time.
Yes, it was. I'm a bit surprised you thought so too. Although a girl doesn't get a chance to tend the wounds of a gallant defender every day. It's quite late to be going out somewhere just now. Will you come tomorrow?
good health.
I've got some good...
All right. Let me with you.
Let's talk... Satisfied?
Arumash. Aye.
I've got some...
Good luck then. You're the young fellow who came here from Scarlet, half dead, aren't you?
Yes, that'll be me. Why?
The lady of the castle was asking after you. She wants to talk to you.
Ah, I'll go and see her then. Thank you.
Very well. Don't make her wait. May the Lord watch over you.
My respects to you.
I have some trophies.
Show me. So many. My lad, you're like the smiting right hand of God.
I've been sent by Captain Bernard. He says you have Cuman marauders here.
Ah, so it was you Bernard was speaking of. Well, the Cumans are marauding, that's for sure. Sir Divish did declare a decent reward for taking the bastards down. But we've not had cause to pay out to anyone so far.
Is that because the locals are too frightened?
No, they're more than willing to try. It's just they don't seem to make it back again. But don't let me put you off. We do know of one camp. Along the road to Neuhof, hidden between the cliffs. I'll pay you your reward if you can bring me proof you've killed the camp leader. They wear peculiar helmets with a face mask of sorts. Easy to recognize.
All right, I'll see to it.
Jesus Christ.
Is there anything interesting going on around these parts?
Interesting? Not really. Sad, more like. You know, I always liked the Neuhof horses best. They had, well, a spark to them. Old Smeal was killed in that raid, and I'm afraid the stud farm will never recover without him. Farewell.
What the hell was that?
The Lord be praised. What's on your mind?
I heard you wanted to talk to me, my lady.
It's true. I need something from you.
How can I help?
My cousin, young Sophie, is going to be wed. It will be an entry into a new life, and I want everything to be perfect for her. I'm looking for a few things to give her as a gift, and you're going to find them for me.
My lady, why me?
Normally I'd let the Chamberlain take care of it, but he doesn't have any taste. I can't trust him with this. And I've been told no task is too challenging for you. Is that not true?
It will be my honor, my lady.
I need you to pick up an ornamental crown from Sasau for Sophie, wine from a merchant in Ratai, and a roan from the stable in Ujits.
Who am I supposed to pick up the wine from?
From Conrad Hagen in Ratai. He's the only person in the whole region who can supply a genuinely good wine. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Here you go. That should be enough.
And the ornamental crown?
had the engravers in Sasau make it, but now they've written to say it will take a while longer. That just won't do. The wedding is almost upon us, and I need it. Go and see Master Jeronim Slesky and pick it up.
You said a roan from Ujits.
Precisely. It's a beautiful animal. Wait till you see it. Dietrich said he'd ride it here himself, but I can already imagine how he'll end up killing himself on that horse. But you, so young and vigorous.
Who am I?
From Conrad Hagen in Ratai, and believe me.
Wine, a roan, and a crown. I can handle that.
Thank you, Henry. I just wish there were others here I could trust so well.
May the Lord watch over you.
Who's there?
What are you up to here? Get out of here or I'll call the guards on you.
I hope I can.
Want to try your luck? Dice?
Yeah.
You can return home. It was hard work to convince them, so please don't get into trouble when you go back.
Thank you. I'd like to give you something, but I've got nothing except if you're ever traveling by way of Neuhof, stop by and I'll show you something with the horses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good fella. That's my... Wait here. Stay.
Niazon!
itt nem látok. Megjött a mor... Tűzlük a...
You're free. Leave your weapon and go.
What's to be done?
Yeah!
Rossz helyen vagy, rossz időben. Kapsz egyet!
Look what I've got.
Yeah!
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I'd like to look. I'm interested.
Wouldn't you rather...
Well, how's trade? Any trouble around these parts?
Nothing we can't handle. Good luck.
Jesus Christ be praised. How may I serve you?
You waiting for someone?
Not anymore, young man. I was waiting for you. You look like a clever sort of fellow, and chivalrous too. You wouldn't be the damsel in distress, would you?
Why? Do you know of one somewhere?
Now, Hansel. Don't be mean. I've got a job to offer. There's an old grandad sitting in the alehouse there. Yesterday he made use of my services and he said he'd pay me in the morning. Only now he pretends he doesn't know me. I want you to take the groschen he owes me from his purse and bring them to me.
What do I get out of it?
I'll give you half of what you get off him. It ain't a lot, but it's more than I've seen for quite a while.
I'm on it. I'll be back with the coin before you know it.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got your coin for you. Though I have to say, robbing a wretch who doesn't look much better than you doesn't exactly fill me with pride.
Thank you 1,000 times. Keep half as a reward.
Have you got something else for me?
For you, always. You brought me coin for food, but I'm cold, and I've no one to keep me warm at night.
I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. Unless you want me to steal a blanket for you.
Not a blanket, but a lovely woolen shawl. My own. I was desperate, so I swapped it for a morsel of food, and now I'm sorry I did. Get it back for me, please.
Consider it done.
Thank you, handsome. I gave the shawl to a village woman who lives not far from here to the west. And to make it worth your while, she's got some fine old books stashed away in a trunk. It's surely worth a tidy sum if you can get your hands on it. God bless.
Yeah.
If you're up to no good, you'd better think twice. Keep your hands off me, you... Christ! Watch out! There's a pickpocket here!
You've no. Look out! What are you doing here?
Right.
Yeah. Here's your woolen shawl.
You're the soul of kindness, looking after a woman who's down on her luck. I wasn't always poor, you know, and I haven't always walked the streets.
Tell me something about yourself.
I was a farmer's wife at Neuhof, and I wanted for nothing. I had a decent dowry, my husband didn't beat me. Only one day he found himself another woman and threw me out. He wouldn't even leave me my dowry. I begged for a while, but then I started selling the only thing I had, my body. What else could I do? And all on account of that bastard.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Remember how I told you about my husband? Well, now, after 20 years, the time has come to get my own back. My former husband is a farmer in Neuhof. He's the one who put me where I am today, and now he pretends he doesn't know me. But the ornamental dagger I gave him back then, that's still good enough for him, all right. I want you to steal it from him and bring it back to me. You'll get your reward, but it'll take a little while.
No sooner said than done.
Goodbye.
Has something happened? What was that? What? They
Is
must
someone
have
there?
imagined it. Who is it? Looking for something around here.
Who's there?
Yeah! Yeah!
Godspeed. Take care.
Can we do...
Finally.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
One of the Neuhof stable boys, a lad they called Ginger, fled from there and hid out with some charcoal burners. I have to say, there's a lot of them around. I never thought how many forges and ironworks they have to supply.
That's true, but keep to the point.
Oh, yes, sir. I had quite a job finding him. He was well hidden and with good reason. The bandits wanted to kill him because he recognised one of them.
Did he tell you what happened?
He said it wasn't one gang, but two. And one of them took fright when the slaughter started. Seems they were only interested in loot, so they quarrelled with the other lot. Then it came to a skirmish in the woods and one of them was killed. And the rest of them scattered.
And did you find out where they went?
All I know is one of them is from Ujits. I know enough about him to be able to track him down.
All right, but those cutthroats must know who he is too, right? And if they want to get revenge on him or silence him, you'd better hope they don't get to him before you. So drop everything and get on his trail. Find out what he knows and then report back to me. I'm going to our encampment at Merhayed to oversee the security of the region.
Yes, sir. Why choose Merhayed?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
The trail leads to Ujits. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubosh.
I see. What else?
That's all I've found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything new. Good luck then.
Good God. What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it.
Is this your dagger?
That's it. Thank you. You've proved not all men are complete swine. There's just one last little thing you could do for me.
Last, you say? What is it?
After he threw me out of the house, that bastard put another woman in my place, a younger one. And he gave her my trunk with my dowry. Can you believe it? My dowry? The bitch! I want you to get the key to that trunk. That bitch always has it on her.
Well, wouldn't it be simpler if I just brought you what's in the trunk?
That's sweet of you. But there are some things I have to do myself. I want to enjoy my vengeance. Just bring me the...
What about my reward?
Just wait a little while, please. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Hey, who's that? Who are you? Lost something here. Hey! Mother of God!
God grant.
Is this your dagger?
That's it. There's just
Lass?
after I want you.
Wouldn't it be simple?
That's sweet of you.
What about...
Just God bless.
What is it then?
It's about this. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
What?
You heard? Don't try to wriggle out of it. Let's get to it.
I'm not in the habit of fighting to the death with fellows I meet by chance on the road. Tell me first what this is all about.
What's happening is I'm challenging you to a duel. You disgusting man. I spit in your face.
Eager, aren't you? Who are you, anyway?
I am Sir Oldbram of Lossany.
Pleased to meet you, Sir Oldbram. So, what are you after?
My mother sent me out to get some experience. She's obsessed with tales of chivalrous knights. In short, she sent me off looking for some virgin to save, and to win glory in combat. But I have to admit, I'm not very good at it.
Look, dueling's all fine and dandy, but shouldn't you start with looking for that virgin? There's lots of pretty maids around these parts. One or two might still be virgins.
That never occurred to me.
Once you've done that, you might see this dueling differently.
True. If I'm fighting for the love of my life, my courage will know no bounds.
That's not quite what I had in mind, but so be it.
Thank you for your encouraging words.
Glad to be of service, sir.
Never mind. I'll wait here for someone else. I don't suppose it matters who chops my head off.
Who's there? Hey, you! Don't move a muscle! Surrender! What the hell do you think you're doing, hurting people like that? We won't put up with violent brutes here. Is that clear? Well, you won't forget this in a hurry, because it'll take a nice pile of coin to fix it.
Look, I'll tell you the truth, but you mustn't tell anyone. The Lord of Rat-Eye sent me on a secret mission, and to do it, I have to bend the law a little now and again. Understand?
Well, I thought... That is, I had no idea. If that's how it is, of course you may go.
That. Hey, who's that? What's going on?
Here's the key to the trunk.
At last. Now I have everything I need, and I'll be happy again. Thank you, lad. Come and see me tomorrow. I'll pay you everything I owe you, and a lot more.
What will you do now?
Now I'll take what's mine. That's all you need to know. And don't worry, you'll get the reward you've earned. May the Lord watch over you.
Not just yet, I hope.
God Almighty!
Lady Stephanie of Talmberg sent me to...
And what would she like? Fine clothes from Venice? Exquisite spices from Arabia? Jewels from Germany?
Wine. Good wine.
Ah. Would beer be enough?
As a gift for a noble woman's wedding? No, it definitely wouldn't.
Then that's going to be a problem. I gave the last keg of good wine away as a prize for the archery competition tomorrow.
Shit. Isn't there anywhere else where I could find the wine?
Unfortunately not. I have the exclusive right to sell and buy that particular vintage. No one else in the region will stock it.
Can I enroll in the competition?
But of course. Go to the shooting range above Rattay.
But what if I don't win the competition?
Then you'll have to persuade the winner to part with some truly excellent wine.
I suppose I'll just have to find a way to get it.
I'm sorry, there's nothing more I can do to help. Goodbye.
Amen.
God almighty.
Do you know?
Could be. Sir Hanosh is convening the You can still enroll tomorrow. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I've been scattered, and, well, you know.
Have you read it or?
Oh, Henry, it's a marvellous book. Wonderful, really. I've found what we need, but it won't be easy. The spell must be said over the grave of the person preventing his soul from resting in eternal peace, while burning something from the house he lived in.
Ugh, of course. It couldn't be something easy, could it?
Who said meddling with the dead would be a walk in a rose garden? You'll probably have to ask your widow a few more questions. Once you know everything, get something from his house, and find the grave of the person that's preventing him from resting in peace. Then come see me, and we'll get to banishing that ghost.
Jesus, and I thought the living were troublesome.
I could die of shame.
I saw the apothecary and he reckons that ghost of yours is quite a problem.
You think I don't know that? Last night I didn't get a wink of sleep. I lay in my bed, tossing and turning, just waiting for him to appear.
And did he come?
For a long while it seemed like nothing would happen. Then, towards the morning, the room grew cold as the grave. My poor heart nearly stopped beating when I heard a voice calling my name. So I fell to my knees and begged the Virgin Mary to protect me. When will this all end? You must work quickly. If this goes on much longer, I'll lose my mind. I know I will.
For the spell, I'll need something from the house where the spirit once lived. Where exactly did Eloise live?
It's north of here, to the left of the road from Ledechko. But there's not much left of it these days except ash and weeds. The farm was burned to the ground with Eloise inside.
Oof, that must have been a terrible death. To get rid of him, we need to cast a spell over the grave of the person who's preventing him resting in peace. I'm not sure who that person is, though. You haven't already picked out a gravesite for yourself, have you?
No. Henry, the truth is, I haven't told you the whole story. I'm not the one he's got unfinished business with.
Well, who is it then? I suggest you tell me everything.
Alois had a wife. Her name was Lada, and she was a proper shrew, shrieking at him from sunrise to sunset. He never spent a single pleasant day with her. They must have fought like dogs. One night, Lada took a lantern and burned the whole farmhouse down with Alois inside.
That sounds awful. No wonder Eloise can't rest easy.
When Alois died, Lada lost her mind. She spent days running about the woods near Tarnberg, completely witless, until one day they found her body deep in the woods. Her hair was all pulled out, her face scratched up with her own fingernails. They buried her there, where they found her, but I don't know exactly where to look.
I'll ask around. I don't need to know anything else. I can head off now. Everything burned to the ground. So where can I find something that belonged to the dead? I'll take some of these pieces of charred wood. That should do.
I'm honored that a knight...
I hear there's a grave in the woods round here. Do you know how I can find it?
You mean where they buried that mad woman? They say on some nights her ghost wanders the woods. But you'll find the grave when you head up to the woods and keep some way off to the right from the stream. It's hard enough to see in daylight. If it's dark, you're sure to get lost.
Thanks. I'm sure I'll find it.
If I were you, I wouldn't go looking for it. It's not a good place. May the Lord watch over you.
This must be it. May she rest in peace, Lord.
I hope I can be of help to you, knight.
The Lady of Talmberg sent me. She wants me to find out why the crown's been delayed.
Through no fault of ours, I can tell you that. We had a large stone ordered for mounting on the crown, a beautiful Moldavite from South Bohemia that we had cut and polished in Prague. But, well, in short, the good merchant, Martin Wiesek, who was supposed to bring it from Prague, got lost along the way. It's like the ground swallowed him up.
Well, Lady Stephanie won't be happy.
Look, we've got something else here we can replace the stone with, but I'm sure even you can see it's not worthy of a noble wedding. and definitely not worthy of our fine craftsmanship. Oh, if I only had someone who'd try to find the Moldavite.
Why don't you just ask me? Of course I'll try to find the stone. Just tell me where the fellow was seen last.
That fellow, as you call him, the esteemed merchant, Martin Wieseck, was last seen riding alongside the Sassau River, passing by the footbridge over the ford, to the west of here. Evidently, he never made it to Sassau town.
Well, I'll look for him, but he could be far over the mountains by now. Or under the ground.
See you later.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Alarm! Hey! All of you, gather!
Stop whining and fight.
Kurwa!
My God, what happened to...
About that Moldavite we discussed.
Yes. Do you have some news?
Yes. The good news is I found Vizek.
That sounds like cause for rejoicing, but how come he isn't with you?
That's the bad news. He didn't survive.
Merciful God. He was a good and highly respected man. I will pray for his soul. Anyway, let me see the stone, if you would be so kind.
Of course. Here it is.
Excellent. It looks undamaged. I'll get straight to work. You can come for the finished crown tomorrow evening. See you later.
What the fuck are you looking for here? I will put up with... Go!
with salt, caraway seeds, garlic, and more.
I'm at your...
God be with you. Take care.
Let's have a word about...
Well...
What about this?
Well... Seen...
Is there someone here who compete with me in archery?
Sure. There's always arrows flying here. First, I'll explain the rules to you. You shoot 7, 13, or 21 arrows, depending on who you're shooting against. The straw surround is worth 1 point, the white ring 2, and the round ends when everyone has finished shooting. It's the custom to wager on it.
All right.
Just one more thing. Don't leave while the contest is underway.
Got it.
How good are you with a bow? So I can...
I'm a beginner.
Doesn't matter. At least splendid. Here's some... Meanwhile, I'll see you... You may shoot. contest is over. Henry here is the winner.
Is there someone?
Sure. How good are you?
I've shot.
Then you'll have splendid. Meanwhile, I'll see you. You may shoot. End of game. Henry is the victor.
Is it? I
Meanwhile, God be. You may shoot. Arrows all shot.
I've heard there's a contest happening, and that the prize is a keg of fine wine.
That's true. I bought the finest wine to be had in the province.
I'd like to take part.
Do you know the rules?
I do?
Splendid. Here's some arrows for you. But you can use your own if you want. Meanwhile, I'll round up the competition. Take